All right. By a show of fingers, who's heard news stories about Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden in Manhattan yesterday? Three of you have. Okay. Chris, what did you hear?
Just they kind of went off the rails again.
Okay. Jason, what did you hear?
Um, I see the New York Times kind of profile. It was just demagoguery, and I just saw other things I think I watched a little bit. I saw Hulk Hogan come out on stage and just waving the American flag and ripping open his shirt. But I know there was another comedian who was there, Kill Tony, I think it was. He told a joke about Puerto Rico that some people are saying was insensitive or racist. And so that's one view of it. And then I've just heard the people well, that's not Trump. And I think even Trump's team have kind of distanced themselves from the comments made by that comedian. So yeah, but I think a lot of people were listening to some other people on Republican news stations. They said that there was a lot of energy there, that it was the top form, a lot of energy, a lot of good positive momentum there. So they think that it was a good event.
Okay. Got it. And John, what did you hear?
I heard about the comedian who made the politically insensitive jokes or joke. I know that RFK spoke. I saw a picture that Hulk Hogan was there, and I think I saw a headline on CNN that fact checked what Trump had said, and there were 20 plus claims that they fact checked that were untrue.
Okay. Got it. So Cindy's going to play a clip of some of the excerpts from this rally, and I want to get your reaction once it's over. So you're shaking your heads. Crystal, what's your reaction to hearing that?
That is so typical of what I hear from them all the time, and why, as a Republican, I have become so upset, because this is not the Republican Party that I know. The hate and the ugliness, and this is why I will not. This is what scares me. That is what scares me, because I grew up with him, and this is what I heard from him my whole life. I know when he walked down and announced he was going to be president, I'm like, people cannot take him seriously. And when he won, I was shocked.
Okay.
So it really angers me. I'm sorry, that whole thing. If I'm kind of glad I wasn't watching the news in the last 48 hours, because that really angers me, that people talk like that about other human beings. The ugliness, it just totally turns me off.
Tiara, what was your reaction to it?
It was so out of pocket. It was so disrespectful. Like, how can anybody listen to any grown adult man being so disrespectful? Like, how can I take you serious and you making jokes about babies and pulling out in Puerto Rico? The whole everything. I mean, it was funny. It wasn't funny, but it still tickled me how disruptive they were. I missed that totally. That was just no filter. I wouldn't want none of them people running nothing around me with that type of attitude.
Okay. Thank you. So John, I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you on this for a second. Well, first, tell me your reaction to what you heard.
I wonder why. Why do they have to be demeaning? Why do they have to bring up Hillary Clinton when that campaign was in 2016? It just seems like it's Donald Trump and the Republican Party now is the party of grievances, and they demean the people that disagree with them.
So let me give you an argument that the Harris people would give you, hearing that you're planning to vote for Chase Oliver. What they would say to you is, we get that you're not happy with Harris, and we understand, obviously, you're not happy with Trump. while you might not love Harris, they would argue to you, Trump and the people around him pose a unique threat. And rather than wasting a vote on Chase Oliver, we'd rather that you hold your nose and vote for Kamala to help stop this guy from becoming president again. What is your response to that argument if they posed it to you?
So first of all, I would say it's my right to vote for whomever is on the ballot. So a vote for a third party candidate is not a wasted vote. It's me exercising my right as a US citizen. They may not agree with it and they won't agree with it, but that is my right. I don't disagree with some of their sentiment, and I know that there are some high-profile Republicans that have come out and basically said, I've never voted for a Democrat before, but I refuse to vote for Trump, so I'm going to vote for Harris. And that's their right. At the end of the day, I need to cast my vote in a way such that I can feel good about who I voted for, and I don't know that I would feel good about voting for Harris, even if it means keeping Trump out of the White House.
Thank you. I wanted to hear how you thought through the question. You were very kind to let me push you like that.
You bet.
All right. So next, so I have nobody in this group who's specifically planning to vote for Trump. I have that right? I got 2 libertarians and 3 Harrises. So let me take you through. Hang on a second. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Jason. Before I go ahead, what do you think of the Madison Square Garden clip that I just paid for you?
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's just like it's such a weird thing to do, like at a political rally. It's pushing a lot of people away that like me that I don't like. It's kind of funny, but it's not what I want to see from a political party. And yeah, I think like it's like a 30-second clip. I don't know if it's like representative of, what was actually like. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that I probably would agree with that were happening there. And then also like I'm sure there's stuff happening at like Democratic rallies that are quite offensive to me, or that I wouldn't agree with, or I would be like equally repulsed by. So yeah, I just like, yeah, I just don't think a 30-second. I think it's probably a little bit more for Trump. Like he's doing some crazier things than I would like for a political party to do. So I'm hoping after 2024 we can move past that, maybe as Republicans, and we can find somebody who's like gonna, more like Vance. I think I really like Vance, somebody who's kind of like more, focus on like policy and not being so goofy and doing crazy things.
Okay. But when I play the clip like I just played, you heard what those folks said at a Trump rally. Does it cause you to think, well, maybe I really wish I could have voted, I could take my vote back and vote for Harris just to stop this? Or is it basically I'm fine with the third party choice that I made and I'm good?
No, I think it's just like a bunch of, trying to, for whatever reason. Yeah, it doesn't, I don't feel like the need to go vote for Harris. That doesn't, yeah, that kind of stuff doesn't really push me towards voting for Harris. Yeah, I can't, yeah. I find it offensive, but not like a reason to vote for her. It doesn't like make me think that if he's elected that he's going to imperil the US because of like the words that kind of like language.
By a show of fingers, who heard news stories about Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden in Manhattan last night? Who's heard news stories about it? 4 of you have. Okay. Dale, what did you hear?
I heard there was a comedian that called Puerto Rico a cesspool.
Okay. Jennifer, what did you hear?
Yeah, the trash talk about Puerto Rico, as well as I heard there was other racists. I can't remember the examples, but I remember thinking, yeah, that's no good. What's that doing at a political rally? And a lot of comedy, you take something out of context and it can sound really horrible, but are political rallies like comedy club acts? I don't think so.
Okay. So Cindy's going to play a clip of excerpts from the rally. I just want to get your reaction to it once you hear it. So hearing this, does this change anything for any of you who are undecided or leaning Trump? Does it move anybody at all to hear this? And if it doesn't, that's fine. I'm just wondering whether it does for anybody who's hearing it. I'm not hearing
I'd
anything.
say, yeah, it sucks.
Okay.
It's a terrible reflection on the party.
Jennifer, does it change your thinking at all?
I'm not going to vote for Harris because of it. It still makes me torn. Like if they had done a very professional event, maybe that would have moved the needle a little towards him or something like that. But it keeps me in a place where it makes it hard to fill in that oval.
Got it. Okay. Teresa, does it affect you in any way? Any thoughts?
I think it's disgusting. I can't say that it would change my vote. I don't think there's any place for that in a political rally. I don't think there's a place for that anywhere. Not just in a political rally.
Okay. But doesn't change how your support for Vance and wanting what you just described to me a couple minutes ago, right?
No, because I don't know how he feels about it unless I could talk to him personally and say, did you know this is what they were going to say? Did you approve of this? Because he may not have liked it either.
Okay, well, for the record, he condemned this. His campaign condemned the comments about Puerto Rican people. But apparently all this stuff was approved by the campaign, is what I had heard. That was on teleprompter, and they saw that it was up there. So whether Trump, I imagine Trump didn't read everybody's comments from start to finish beforehand. But I guess what I'm wondering is, does it cause any doubt for any of you that they would invite people who would have the propensity to say these kinds of things? Does that create any conflict at all? Zach, what about you?
I think it's just more of what I kind of expect from the campaign. Like, they like to rile up their base, and that's how they excite people to vote. So it's not, the comedians are one thing, and I watch Kill Tony all the time, and I like him as a comedian, and it's, but the whole like pimping out Kamala thing, and the stuff about just denigrating the other political party, I'm not a huge fan of. But again, it's these people that are just trying to rally up their base. They're not the actual politicians that are doing it. It's third party. Is it the most tasteful? Absolutely not, but it doesn't really sway me away or towards anybody.
Thank you. All right. Dale, you going to say something? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I'm just saying it's repulsive. And I think it's a campaign. I think it's the campaign and not the hard politics of it. But it's still repulsive.
Okay. Got it. Okay.